Like, how do we really push ourselves to do something bigger, grander, scarier? And oftentimes we need that accountability in that community for someone else to kind of come in and be like, I know that you're meant for more than that. I know you can do more than that. Hey, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast. I am so excited to bring a couple of incredible Academy VAPers here on today's episode. Melissa Thury, Mendy Paxton, welcome to the show. So happy you're here. I know we are all juggling a million things, going a million different directions. Mendy's got power at our house and drove 45 minutes to make sure that we had good Wi-Fi to record this episode. Melissa's rearranging meetings to be here. So I so appreciate you both. And I'm excited that you're both on together because I think you're both in maybe different seasons of entrepreneurship, but still accomplishing really huge things. So before we get started, why don't you introduce yourself to our listeners? Say hello, let them know a little bit about yourself, where you live, what you do, and what your business is. Melissa, you want to kick us off?
Sure. My name is Melissa Thury. I recently launched my own coaching business, Balance in Business with Melissa, taking some of the fine skills that I've learned from Becky, plus my 7+ years in direct sales, and helping lead women who want a balance between their work and personal life. I am first and foremost a wife. We are coming up on 15 years of marriage, and I've got two beautiful daughters, 13 and 9, and we live in Jamestown, North Dakota, which is where I grew up, and we moved back to a few years ago.
Oh my gosh, so exciting. Mindy, how about an intro from you?
Yes. Hi, I'm Mendy Paxton. I actually live in West Virginia, so that's where we're having some of our little storms recently. I also I'm in nursing administration, so I work full time in a corporate position. And then I also own Bloom to Be You, where I feature J Bloom permanent jewelry and personalized jewelry. And I also really believe in a mission to just helping women feel super, super confident in who they are, what they feel like, and really blooming wherever they're planted.
I love that. Well, you guys have some commonalities there that you're both serving women, you're both helping them build that confidence, maybe in different aspects of their life. And I know, inside the academy, one of the terms that we've become really familiar with is making 10x moves. And I can't take credit for this concept. It was from the book. 10x is easier than 2x. And we've talked about a lot of what that looks like, and everyone's 10x move could be a little bit different in different seasons, right? So I thought it might be kind of fun today to spend a little bit of time just letting people in on what those 10x moves are that you're making. I know that I get to talk to both of you individually often and hear about what that looks like. But it's such a big concept, like making a 10x move. Like, how do I let go of the 80% that's not serving me and just really focus in on that 20% that's going to take me to the next level, both in business, but also in life. So I'd love if you're willing to share a little bit about those 10x moves that you're currently making. Mendy, you want to kick us off with this one?
Yes, thank you so much. Well, first and foremost, just being on this podcast, seriously, is a 10x move
10x
for me.
move!
Because exactly, like just putting yourself out there. So I'm super excited to have the opportunity just to be here. Becky, one thing I didn't say in my intro is your podcasts are like on repeat constantly for me. Like you keep me so motivated. So it just feels it's such an honor to be here to be able to actually speak on it. So I have to say this is a 10x move for sure. Another 10x move that I have made in 2025 is I officially launched my Oh My High site. So it's like a personal website where you can come and find out all the great things about Bloom to Be You, from where I'm popping up to about our customer specials. And another little secret that I really haven't let out yet, but that is going to be a big 10x move coming soon. is I am actually planning my first digital product to actually launch. And this is going to be a lot around, as I mentioned earlier, I work full time. So I'm balancing a full time job. I am balancing a direct sales. I have a family. And so it's going to be a little bit around helping women how to juggle that and what that looks like. So those are really my big 10x moves for this year.
I love that. I love it. And having a platform to be able to do that from. That's pretty
Ex-
incredible too. And I know that that's been
exactly.
a big topic of our conversation, right? Kind of that
Yes.
reliance on social media or that pesky
Yes.
algorithm or not getting seen as much as we wanted to be seen or we have been able to in the past. And having a place to really build from is pretty incredible.
Yeah, it's been great. It drives people to email right off of my website, and I'm able to communicate with them that way. It's been a game changer for my business for sure.
That is so rad. Okay, I'm excited to talk more about digital
Yeah.
products too. That's
Yeah.
really fun. Melissa, how about you? You've had some big
Yeah.
changes in your day-to-day business. So tell us a little bit about that and the moves you're making.
Yeah, so 2025 was deemed my year to say yes to everything I've been holding off on. So I left my direct sales business after 7.5 years at the end of March and launched my coaching business on April 1st. I launched a website twice actually this year because I created it for my direct sales business and recreated it for my coaching business. I started blogging. I will be doing a YouTube channel and a podcast within the next 30 to 60 days. And
Yay.
also, I had kind of planned to start doing the one-on-one coaching and grow into other sectors. But I'm excited within the next 30 to 60 days to also be rolling out virtual and local cohorts for women in business who just need that support. And then also opening it up to training platforms and speaking engagements.
Oh my goodness. Those are some big, big moves, Melissa. And I know stepping away from something and starting something new is that's a lot, right? Like there's the emotional piece of it, but there's also kind of that potential fear factor or imposter syndrome that kind of creeps in on us when we're doing something new that we haven't done before. And I've been watching you grow over the years, and I've seen you kind of navigate this big transition, and you're doing that beautifully. But I'd love, just to maybe dive into that conversation on imposter syndrome. I think we've all at every level of business, no matter how successful we are, like that happens, right? Where we doubt ourselves or we worry or we think, or am I ready for this? Or should I be doing this? Or what are other people going to think about me doing this? All of those things when you're next leveling, I feel like just really creep out of the closets, even if you've like shut that door and put it away for a long time. When you're doing something new, it's natural to feel a little shaky about it. Uh, um, so what are you doing? And maybe we'll just kind of stick with you here, Melissa, and then we'll pop over to Mendy after this. Like, what are you doing to stay on track and show up confidently? Because it's so easy to let that imposter syndrome creep in where you just want to crawl back in a hole and hide away and not do the things that you've put on that 90-day plan or those 10x moves you need to make. So tell me what that looks like for you.
Yeah. So I think first and foremost is I expected some sort of grief or sadness around letting that direct sales business go after 7.5 years. And I never felt that. I felt a great comfort and a great ease with that decision, and just kind of jumped in. So it makes me think that I've made the right decision. I'm exactly where I need to be. And I think it is easy to tell yourself, I know a lot, but who am I to teach others?
Yeah.
And you just need to remember, or for me specifically, I've been teaching others for 7 years. I just
Yeah.
wasn't calling it coaching. I wasn't calling it teaching, but I've worked side by side with fellow direct sellers, whether it's through the academy or through my business.
Mm-hmm.
And I've built a team and I've had sales, and I'm already doing the things, or I've done the things that I say I can do. So when you get in those dark places of doubt, you just kind of have to come back around to you've proven you can do these things. You
Yeah.
do them. Have a plan, stick to the plan, move forward.
I love that. Do you have any like specific mantras or reminders that you kind of keep front and center? Like I have done this before, I can do it again, or remember that time when I helped this person navigate that, or I got this sweet note in the mail from a teammate that was thanking me for my support. Are there things that help remind you or keep you on track when you're feeling a little maybe less secure about what your next move is?
So I kind of have to pay homage to a fellow or another businesswoman who I greatly admire, Christy Wright, who said it best when she said, "Do it scared.
Yeah, do it scared.
Do it
Yeah.
scared. Be comfortable being uncomfortable." And I think a lot of the things that are in that 10x plan of mine are going to make me very uncomfortable. Um, but face it and grow, and now you're an expert on something else.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Making moves over there. Mindy, what about you? Does that imposter syndrome, like, you're showing up more outside, maybe your comfort zone, or maybe in different places that you haven't before? What do you do to kind of stay on track and keep that confidence front and center?
Yeah, absolutely. It's such a real thing. Imposter syndrome is such a real thing. And we
Yeah.
do doubt ourselves, I think, as women in general. Like we have just, are we enough? And so for me, I have to remind myself that I'm not here to be perfect, that I'm actually here to serve, and that I just have to focus on being real and authentic to myself because that's going to help keep me grounded. I don't have to always be polished. I don't have to be perfect when I show up live. My audience, for example, they love to see the real side of me, the real behind the scenes side, right? So I think for me, it's really giving myself grace. So you were talking about a mantra, and one thing that I say a lot is that I love to give myself grace, that I want to stay in my lane and on my pace. Because if that is what I'm comparing myself to, am I doing something better than I was yesterday? Not, oh, Sally and Sue and all of these people are doing so many other things. You can really get lost inside of that. So I think and it is back to Melissa, what you even mentioned. Sometimes I think we're like, well, we're not an expert. Like just even with this digital product that I'm wanting to put out, I definitely will have doubt sometimes that I'm not an expert, but I'm like, yes, I am. I've lived in the corporate world for, 25 years, and I have been in direct sales for, almost probably about 7 years now myself. I do know what I'm talking about a little bit here. So it's just continuing to say you don't have to be perfect. You just have to really show up and really serve. And that's what we're here for with the right intention.
I love that. Well, and I think what you said too, just around that comparison game, and I know that comes across all industries. That's not direct sales specific, but
Right.
sometimes when you're selling the same product as other people,
Hmm.
or when you're working towards the same milestones as other people,
Hmm.
or the same rank advancements or trip earning, it is a little bit easier to say, like, well, I ended up with 27,000 points, and seems
Right.
like that person over there has 32,000. Like, how did that, whatever that
Right.
may be, I think that the industry as a whole lends itself to a little bit more of that comparison game
Right.
than maybe in other places. But I mean, even for me, like for a long time, I completely blocked on social anyone that was remotely competitive to me because I just like
Hmm.
didn't want it in my head. I didn't want to see it.
Hmm.
I didn't want to compare. Now I'm over it. I'm like, oh, that's
Right.
interesting what they're doing. But like, I think especially in those beginning baby stages,
Agreed.
when you
Agreed.
are doing something new, it's easy to kind of look over your shoulder and be like, oh gosh, like, well, they're
Yeah.
doing it this way, or am I doing it wrong? Or
Right.
wow, like that looks different over there. Maybe I should do it more like them. And so
Yes.
I love that you are really focused on staying at your own pace, on your own course,
Yes.
and not
Yes.
worried about what's happening on the sidelines. That's
Yes.
huge.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Absolutely.
so good. Okay, well,
Hmm.
sticking with this same theme because I feel like a lot of people need to hear this. If you could go backwards and you could tell your newbie self one thing, whether it was just getting started in direct sales or even as maybe a new mom, we could go any direction here. What are those things that maybe you wish you would have known, or you would say differently to your younger self?
Hmm.
Melissa, you want to take that one?
Yeah. I am a creature of habit. I like stability. But I would, if I had to go back and start it all over, I would say don't be afraid to take the big steps. Don't be afraid to be uncomfortable. Don't be afraid of change. Embrace it. Look for it. You never know what's out there. If nothing else, you're going to figure out real quick what you don't want to do and what you don't enjoy. But I think that is the biggest takeaway I would have.
I love that you said there just around stability, right? That oftentimes we stay or we keep doing the same thing and we're in that routine and creature of habit, right? Because stability holds us back from moving forward. I look back to 2020-ish when Jeremy was leaving his full-time electrical engineering job, and we had lots of wine therapy in the evenings as we were talking over changes in our life and what we wanted. And every time we came back to, what's holding you back from coming to work full-time in the business, it was always stability. I can't tell you how many times we heard that word over and over, stability, 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 until finally it was like, okay, what's the worst that can happen? Like, okay, so maybe we go do this and things totally tank and you have to go back and get another job. Like, that would be the worst, right? But that wouldn't be that bad after all, right? So I think it is looking at, yeah, like what is the risk that you're willing to take? And is it just that stability, that habit, doing the same old status quo that keeps us from moving forward? So I love that piece of advice, Melissa. So good. Mendy, what about you? If you could go backwards and you could tell your younger self or newbie self something, what would it be?
That's so good. It actually goes back a little bit to the imposter, right? The
Yeah.
comments that we were talking about. It's just do it. Do it afraid, Mindy. Do it messy because messy is better than perfection. Messy is better than not getting started at all. And just realizing that I am enough and we are enough. And just really and truly just do it afraid, do it messy, and it's going to be game changing for you.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like those big leaps or those big jumps that we've made, not just in business, but in life too, right? It's
Yeah.
often messy. It's often scary. It often feels maybe like we don't really know what we're doing, but we're doing it anyway. And I
Yes.
think that's exactly where the growth happens.
Agreed. I agreed. I think if you don't feel that a little bit, you're not growing and you're not changing and you're not moving forward. So I think that's a perfectly normal feeling for us all to have. And you just push through that.
So true. And how often, when, kind of back to this initial discussion around making 10x moves, have you said that you're going to do something and then maybe somebody else in the community, or maybe it's a coach, or maybe it's a peer, or someone else kind of pushed back and said, I don't know if that goal is big enough for you. Like that isn't quite a 10x goal. That's like a 2x move. Like, how do we really push ourselves to do something bigger, grander, scarier? And oftentimes we need that accountability in that community for someone else to kind of come in and be like, I know that you're meant for more than that. I know you can do more than that. Like, let's bump that up a notch. What would that look like? And I think that's also one of my favorite things about creating community is bringing people together and them seeing something in someone that they have a hard time seeing in themselves, right?
Mm. I agree. And I do have to give a lot of credit to the VIP for that very specific reason for me is that it really, the community, the ladies that we've been able to surround ourselves with in this VIP community has been so inspiring to me. And it's always like a cheerleader. We always have someone in our corner cheering for us and telling us we can do it. And I think that is definitely authentic and true that you say that, Becky. That is very real.
Yeah. Melissa, were you going to add something there?
No, I think tribes are very important in business, especially if you're a woman in business. I do think you feel a lot of pressure, and that VIP tribe that we have
Yes.
is absolutely golden.
It is. It is. And the collaboration that comes from that group and the encouragement, even if somebody's completely across the country or runs a totally different looking business, that's been really cool. And I think I've just seen it progress and level up and level up and level up. And it just continues to become a pretty powerful group where, now in Academy VIP, of course, we have people in direct sales, but we also have people launching digital products. We have people that are launching coaching businesses, that are doing things that are entrepreneurial and outside of the direct sales industry too. So that's been really interesting and fun to see as people have navigated challenges, navigated change, and then also, push themselves a little bit further beyond, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And it's a
So
great
good.
spot to go for honesty. There's some days where I just need somebody to tell me you're doing it all wrong, but tell you with love but it's turned into that place because I don't want somebody to fluff the answer for me. I need somebody that's going to tell me what I'm doing right, what I'm doing wrong, what I need to do different.
Yeah.
But to have that trust with a group of women
Yeah. Pretty,
where
pretty
they can
amazing.
tell you those things and it doesn't hurt your feelings, they're telling you from a place of love
Right.
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
incredible.
So true, Melissa. That is so, so very true. And I'm sure you've had these same conversations even with Becky in the past, where we've said, I've had a meeting with her and I'm like, okay, I just need you to be real with me. Like, here's where I am. Don't sugarcoat it. Like, let's just do it.
Yeah.
And it's so helpful.
Well, I feel like we all need a little bit of that in our life, right?
Yeah.
Just having people that support us, want the best for us, want to push us a little bit, because we always need like a little bit of a loving nudge, but also just that realness of, like when I work with my business coach, I'm like, help me make sure I'm not going the wrong direction here. Like, this is where I think I'm going. This is what I'm excited about. What, like, my blinders are on. Like, what am I missing? What am I not thinking about? Like, is this the right direction? Or is there something that you see that I can't see based on my experience, based on what I've done before? And so I think having that community and that wealth of knowledge in one place is pretty awesome that you can show up and be like, this is what my plan is. Like, what am I missing? Help me by not going down the wrong path. Or, oh shoot, I did go down the wrong path. How do I pivot? How do I change? How do I get back on track? And that's a pretty incredible spot to be. Love it.
Absolutely.
All right, girls, tell me, favorite office supply and where we can connect with you. Most importantly, where can we find your beautiful faces on the internet?
I can go first. I am a paper planner girl. I don't go anywhere without my paper planner and a friction pen addict, thanks to you, Becky.
Oh, I've created many friction pen addicts. Like, I feel like they need to offer me a brand ambassador spot, a podcast sponsorship, because we talk about friction pens just as much as we talk about direct sales on this podcast.
I feel like you're missing out on some royalties there for sure.
I do. Or at least free product. Like, send me all the pens, cases and cases of pens, and I'll be happy.
And I'm still like an old lady at heart. I love Facebook. My business page is Balance in Business with Melissa at Instagram. Melissa Thury, all one word. But I primarily am on Facebook. I still like it. Again, it goes back to change. I know how
Yeah.
it works, sort of, sometimes.
If it works, it works,
I know how it's
right?
supposed to work.
That's probably a more accurate statement. How
Yeah.
it's supposed to be working. I love it, Melissa. How about you, Mendy?
Oh my goodness, I know. I see I almost chimed in. It's the friction pen, Becky. You have done this to all of us. And I know you were with me when we were at leadership conference, and with my company, and they actually had their own friction pen that they made with their logo. And I was so excited. I about jumped out of my chair. So I don't go anywhere without my friction pens. That is for sure. And now I hear there are erasable marker or highlighters, and I haven't even like
Oh,
went
yeah.
that route yet.
Yeah, you got to get the
So
highlighters.
I think that'll be the next office supply I have to have for sure. And then
So
you
good.
can find me, of course, on my website at bloom2bu.com, and that is with the number two,
Too. Okay.
with Bloom2bu. And then also, of course, I'm like Melissa. I don't know that I'll ever be able to give up the old lady Facebook. No, it's really not old lady, but it feels that way. I'm on Bloom2bu as well as Facebook and Instagram.
Amazing. So good. Well, it is such a joy to watch both of you grow in different ways. And I'm so excited to see how you expand this year. I think that that's a big theme, whether it's expanding into a coaching business or digital products. You both are making 10x moves, and it's pretty fun to be on the sidelines cheering you on. So thank you for being here today on this episode, even from cars and rearranging calls and all the things. I can't wait for all of our listeners to hear this episode and watch this episode because it's going to be a good one. So thank you again, Melissa and Mendy. I hope you guys both have a great day today.
Thank you, Becky.
Yes.
Thank you for all that
Yes.
for us.
Absolutely. Ditto. Thank you so much, Becky.
Of course. Bye, everyone. This episode is sponsored by CintShare. CintShare is the #1 social media scheduler for direct sellers and loved by creators in any industry. It's truly your one-stop shop for all things social. Join hundreds of thousands of social sellers and entrepreneurs who turn to CintShare for free social media training and resources. Get started today with your free 30-day trial at moderndirectseller.com/CintShare.